Hello, and the World Championship just ended, and let's just say how I expected it to go, it went. So I'm going to be talking about the top 8 teams, not anything other than that, because it's just going to take way too long. That's too much memorizing. So yeah. So the first team that was 8th place, there was actually 3 North American teams that got 8th. Yeah. The first one is Gen G. They faced against Carmine Corp because they lost to BDS in the upper bracket qualifier. So that's why BDS was at the top of the second part of the bracket. But yeah, Gen G got swept, so they didn't really have a good chance. But the next North American team was an absolute surprise. Space Station had one of the hardest runs, I feel like, out of any team. They had to go through the wild card, face some good teams. They had to face Moist and stuff like. It was very hard for them. And then they went to the group stage. Their first match was FaZe. To be honest, FaZe just did not perform at all because they're garbage right now. They're probably not gonna stick FaZe Clan, but yeah. And then they had to face Vitality. Of course, they lost. And then for Space Station to qualify, they faced Real One. So basically, in the group stage, they faced 3 really good teams. But yeah, that's Space Station's run because they lost to Liquid, unfortunately. Now G2 is the last NA team for top 8. Yeah, G2 3-0'd the wild card, which no one expected them to do that. And then they beat their first opponent, which was Rule 1, I think. Yeah, it was, because they were in the same group as Space Station. I don't know. I don't remember like all the matches. I just know the playoff bracket, how it worked. But yeah, G2 had to face Gen G for their next match. They fell, and then they had to face against Moist or FaZe, which Moist beat FaZe, so FaZe went 0-2. And G2 beat Moist and then lost to BDS 4-0. Now the other top 8 team was Falcons. Good job to them. Not a lot of people are expecting Falcons to be the meta team to be in the playoffs. They were expecting Real One. But yeah, good job to Falcons. They actually took 2 games from Vitality. That was the amount that K Corp did. Oh, well, I don't know. But yeah, the top 4 now. So that means that throughout this entire tournament, the top 4 teams are all here, which is KC, BDS, Liquid, Vitality. Who would have thought? But yeah, the top 4, KC, they lost to Vitality 4-2. And if you guys watched that series, especially Game 6, you would have seen an absolute wonder goal by Zen to, make them in the lead and then win that series. Carmine Corp had a very good time. Obviously Vatira got the defensive MVP. He deserves it. He has some of, if not the best defense in the world right now. And he's just this team is just very good. And after the winter split, it hasn't just been Vatira doing stuff. It's actually just been an entire team performance that's been good, which is really amazing. And the other team that came top 4, I mentioned them already, it's Liquid. Liquid lost to BDS 4-0, and that's a thing that you need to keep in mind. BDS has swept everyone so far in their playoff bracket that I've talked about so far. 4-0 on G2 and Liquid from BDS, just really good. Liquid looked good in the SSG series. Personally, I was rooting for Space Station during that because I really wanted to see Space Station in the top 4. The last time we saw Space Station in the top 4 was the last season Winter Major, so it's been a long time. But yeah, that's Liquid's run. Now second place, BDS Vitality. I think everyone knows who was second and who was first. BDS was second. They almost got the back-to-back, but now this is where the other two matches come in for BDS. They 4-0'd G2, they 4-0'd Liquid, and then the next series, they got 4-0'd. As the world champions, they got 4-0'd by the new dynasty that's about to come. And of course, unsurprisingly, Team Vitality is the world champions, which, they 100% deserve it, and they're easily the best team. Zen's the best player because Zen got the the overall MVP. Well, I actually forgot to say about Space Station, LJ got offensive MVP. One of the best individual performances we've seen in almost forever from LJ. He single-handedly carried Space Station in the Rule 1 series, having 16 goals out of the 19 goals Space Station scored in that Rule 1 series, and he participated in 16 of them, which just proves how good he is. But yeah, anyway, we're talking about Vitality. Yet again, Vitality win another event. 5 events in a row Vitality have won. They are just crazy. Back-to-back LAN wins. I'm pretty sure the last time we've seen that was Turbo, which is crazy. So that's basically the playoffs. But yeah, some other teams that I want to say that had a very good run. There was Moist, that had a hard run as well. Complexity taking KC to game 7. That was pretty good. FaZe, you shouldn't be talked about a lot, honestly. Yeah. Another thing to talk about, and they only had 5. EU had 6 or 7 possible teams to make it in. If Oxygen and G1 made it through the wild card, that means there would be 7 EU teams out of the 16 that were there, so almost half would be EU, which basically proves the dominance of Europe right now. Europe is the best region, Vitality is the best team, and Zen's the best player. Everyone knows that Zen is the best player in the world, and that will continue next season, which will be starting in either September or October. I don't know which one. So yeah, we basically have an entire month of waiting for the esport to go. But yep, that is me. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.